Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast with Francesca Moi, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in business. Hello everybody, welcome to number 31 of Business Behind the Scene. Today's episode is about biggest fears in business. I just finished a 2-day workshop online because of the circumstances on abundance. It's with my abundance circle, and we had beautiful souls live, ready to get the business to the next level and move themselves in towards abundance. We have this idea that abundance and success is an entity outside of who we are, and we sort of have to reach it. It's like something that is far away from us, and we're not going to be able to grasp it, and you sort of wonder, how does that look like when you don't have it? And I find it really fascinating how much we all have the same fears, no matter what level of our business, no matter what level of our awareness, no matter our level of our mindset. We keep going back to the same fears of not being good enough and not being loved. So those are the core fears that we have as humans, right? Our primal brain is trying to keep us safe, and rejection, it's a huge fear for a lot of people in business. So the beautiful part of this is that you really cannot run a business without being rejected a lot of the time. And if you think about that, it's like, what? Wait, it's the biggest fear for people is to get rejected, but yet you cannot have a business without knowing that you are going to get rejected. You're going to get rejected a lot from clients, from your team members, from partners, from collaborations, from asking for interviews, from trying to get a deal. Like, you're gonna get rejected a lot. So if you're not willing to be through that pain of rejection, then you probably are not gonna be able to succeed in business, right? But let's be honest. It's like if you say, I want to be in a relationship, but I'm terrified of being heartbroken, so I'm rather be single. So the thing is, if you do that, then you're going to be heartbroken in advance because you're being single, right? It's fascinating, isn't it? So it's the same thing in business, right? I'd rather not have a business because having a business terrifies me because I don't want to be rejected. But you're first and foremost rejecting yourself, but not allowing rejection. When I realized that, and I'm explaining it to my clients, they had the biggest aha moment going, oh my gosh, I do that all the time. Like I want to have a successful business. I talk about it. I go for it. And then as soon as I got a little no or rejection, I crawl back into my bed, and I don't want to wake up, and I don't want to do anything, and I don't want to show up, and I just want to disappear. I hear you. I have been there. I have done it. I have overcome it, and I still feel it. It's just something that keeps coming up. So one of the other fears that people have is that they don't want to waste time. They want to be successful yesterday. They want to have results yesterday. They're not willing to go through time where they might have to figure it out. They might have to spend some time not knowing what they're doing, spend some time doing the wrong thing so they can learn how to do the right thing. But people are not willing to do that. They don't want to waste the time. So they rather not do anything, which is ultimately the ultimate waste of time, right? Not do anything, not taking any action. And again, it's something that we do a lot. We go like, oh, I don't want to waste time in social media, and not realizing that the time that you think you're wasting on social media is actually the time that's going to help you to eventually have the compound effect that's going to create the success that you always want. So your future self is going to tell you that was definitely not a waste of time, but your present self will see that as a potential waste of time, because the thing is that our present self does not know what all the things that we're doing now, what is going to hit the mark, what is going to be the thing that's going to get you out there. The truth is that none of them are, and all of them are. What does that mean? Is that all of them together. So if you put together the Facebook, the podcast, the social media, the webinars, the live videos, the YouTubes, all of those things that you're doing together, that they're not looking like bringing any results as yet, they will bring results in the future. This is something a lot of people have asked me throughout my journey, and I always used to be embarrassed not knowing the answer to it, and now I get it. And usually people used to ask me, so how many people do you get from your Facebook Live? How many clients do you get? And I used to go, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't really have like an actual number. And they're like, oh, okay, so why do you keep doing Facebook Lives? I'm like, because I know that I'm reaching people. And I remember thinking, wow, like I'm literally like, don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall hoping they stick. And then now in hindsight, when I look back and when I look at my clients and they're doing Facebook Lives and sometimes they feel like it's going nowhere, I know that it is. I know that in the future, all of those days that they did Facebook Live that nobody was watching, they're gonna make up to it. They're gonna be the success. They're gonna be the reason why they have been successful now. So I know now that all of my efforts were not wasted. And also the times that I did something that might have been a waste of time, it wasn't, because then I learned from it. So the fear of wasting time is not real, because you are wasting your time when you think that you will waste your time. You are wasting your time when you are not doing something because you're afraid of wasting time. Because nothing can really waste your time, and just thinking and not doing is the only ultimate failure of wasting time. But when you do, you can't waste time. You're just moving forward. You just always keep going, right? Another fear that a lot of clients say is like, what if I do all this work and then I make no money? What if? Let's talk about it. What if? Are you making money now? No. So then you might as well do stuff. Right? Doing nothing is not going to get you closer to make any money. So at least you got to do all this stuff. So at least you get closer to the potential of making some of the money. Fascinating, isn't it? Our brain tells us, wait, I don't know for sure that I'm going to make money, so I might as well wait until I'm sure. But you're not going to get sure until you start doing and realize what works, what doesn't work. So don't wait until you know for fact that's going to be the right thing. It's like when, again, start dating. When you start dating someone, you don't know he's the one. You're never going to know he's the one. You're always going to choose him or her. You're not going to know. There's no manual or there's no like post-it attached to him or her that says, is the one. You're not knowing. So are you going to trust? You're going to let go, and you're going to just keep taking step forward so that you can start to make some money? Or are you going to hide and pretend that nothing is happening and just play hobby rather than business? I was terrified that I was going to make no money. I was terrified when I made my first $70,000 month in September 2016. I was terrified, what if I can't make it again? Like legit. I made $70,000 in 1 month in sales, and all my thoughts went to, oh my gosh, what if I can't do this again? Rather than go, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Like, let's go. If I did 70,000 1 month, I can keep doing it every single month. I can keep learning what's the strategy. I've done it, right? Instead, my brain went straight into like, oh gosh, what if I can't do it again? So catch those thoughts and change them in the moment that they happen, rather than indulge in and then hide and then stop doing anything because you're afraid of what if it doesn't happen again. Or some people don't make any money for months and months and months and months. The reason being is because they don't believe they can make money. So they don't take any really strong action. They don't take any massive action. They just take little steps forward and 10 steps backwards and 2 steps forwards and 10 steps backwards. And that is definitely not bringing them closer to making any money. And then they go, oh yes, see, I'm not making any money, so maybe I shouldn't be doing this. So you will look for evidence for your thought. But what if you decide to change the thought and go, you know what? I know that everything I'm doing is going to make money. When I was doing events, I had my first coach that was saying to me, Francesca, why are you doing all these events? Why are you doing all this networking stuff? You're making no money. What are you doing? And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe he's right. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I shouldn't be wasting all my time and, doing this stuff for free. And thank goodness that I didn't listen to that man and to that coach and to that voice of mine that was agreeing with him, because those were the reason why I'm here now. That's how I got to the $1 million business, is because I did things that nobody wanted to do. I show up and I gave at events, and I put myself out there, and I create a community, and I did everything without expecting anything back. And that's how I got there. because people started to notice me, people started to see me. So sometimes you'll have to do things that are not giving you an immediate return on investment, but long term they will if you are consistent. Definitely not going to happen if you're not consistent. Fear of failing in front of people is massive. Fear of failing in front of people, it's huge, because we all are so terrified, especially people that we know, like friends and family. We're so terrified of what if I fail. So the funny part of this again is that because we're afraid of failing in front of people, we choose to do nothing, which is gonna bring to ultimate failure. So we are gonna fail. So the thing is, we're gonna fail slower, and we're gonna fail, like just by hiding rather than fail by doing. But it's still failure. I'd rather fail and do. The other day, I think I told you I went to a mountain. I climbed a mountain, and it was terrifying. And I was like, you know what? At least I'm doing it. If I fail, which I feel I did fail because I did it with fear. The whole thing was like I was terrified of heights, and I was the whole way through I was like a whinger, and I was complaining. It was like awful, but I did it. And so at least I was like, you know what? At least if I go all the way through it, and even if I didn't have much fun doing it, even if I was whinging a lot, even if I was complaining a lot, even if I asked for an helicopter about 10 times, I did reach the top of it. I did reach it up, and I also went down. So, and I didn't fall. And so it's like, right, you know what? It would have been the ultimate failure. Would have been me giving up, which I was about to at the beginning when I wanted to go to the car. What if I just go in the car? What if I just hide? The ultimate failure, right? I would have failed, and I would have felt miserable, and I would have felt, oh my gosh, I can't even get myself to do that, right? Another fear of a lot of my clients is, what if I'm not perfect? I can't put anything out there until it's perfect. And this is something that I understand because I used to be a perfectionist, but I am so driven by going fast that this is not something that's never stopped me. So I didn't care. I just put things out there, even if they were not perfect. And I got complaints. I got people saying, you're so unprofessional and whatever. But the thing is that all the steps took me to where I am now. Instead of ruining my reputation, it actually showed people that I was willing to just put myself out there and to give and add value, even though I knew that it wasn't perfect. And like the other day, I was looking at a video of me that I was like, literally 2016. So my business was just like a year old. And I was going on social media, letting people know that I had, 18 speaking gigs in 6 weeks. Like I was legit committed to the success. I was legit committed to working hard. And I was willing to share it with my clients, my students, my followers, my people. And I was not caring what would they think. I would just concentrate on the people that were inspired by me rather than concentrate on people that would judge me. And trust me, people judged me back then, people judge me now, and I'm okay with it, because the reason why they judge me is because they wish they could be like me. They wish they could do everything that I'm doing because they don't have the courage to put themselves out there and doing it. So if you are one of those people that are afraid of not being perfect, then just, what if you're not perfect? What if you just accept that you're not perfect? Imagine the weight off your shoulders when you just go, yeah, actually, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect, and it's okay. What if that is the thing? Are you afraid of being judged? Guess what? You're going to be judged anyway. You're going to be judged if you do things. You're going to be judged if you don't do things. You're going to be judged if you are invisible. You're going to be judged if you're invincible. You're going to be judged regardless. So you might as well be judged by doing. It's like watching a race and look at and judging the person that got second rather than not judging the person that didn't even start the race. I mean, that person got second. Is it better to get second or not even start the race? I think it's better to get second. Some people say the second person is the first person to lose. Well, I think the second person is the second person that gave it a go, that went for it, that give everything they got to put themselves out there. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be the second in the race, or you want to be the one that didn't start it? people watching that race, they will judge both, right? They will judge both. They will judge the person that got second, saying he didn't push enough or she didn't push enough, and she or he could have done better. And they're gonna judge a person that never started, going, "What a lazy." People are gonna judge because that's what people go to these things for, to watch and judge. People go on social media to watch and judge. So are you gonna let them stop you? Or are you going to use that as a fuel for you to go to the next level? Fear of not being good enough. Fear of not being good enough. That is really interesting. Because at core, we all have this fear. Not being good enough, not being loved. And putting ourselves out there on social media, putting our businesses out there. It's scary, right? Because we might get rejected. We might see our flaws. One of the biggest things that I had is that I was terrified if people get to know me, really know me, they were not going to like me. So I've always wanted to keep a little bit of a mask in front of me so that people wouldn't see the real me. Until I realized that putting a mask on is actually worse, because people are going to see what I'm really not, and I'm going to judge that rather than see the real me. So I had to learn how to be okay letting people in and show the real me. And once I did that, then that's how my raving fan became even closer, and the people that hated me even more, which is okay. But in any of these fears, the waste of time, rejection, not making money, fear of failing in front of people, fear of not being perfect, fear of judgment, or fear of not being good enough, in all of those fears, whatever you have, really bring in front of you and ask your brain, so what? What is the worst case scenario? If I do this or if I don't do this, what is the worst case scenario? And if you really dig, you will see that the worst case scenario is happening right now. You're already living your worst case scenario. But the best case scenario is what you want to concentrate on, which is something that you know that if you don't let go where you're at now, you're never going to reach the best case scenario. If you don't take risk, if you don't are willing to waste time, if you're not willing to get rejected, if you're not willing to make, to lose money, to make money, if you're not willing to fail in front of people, if you're not willing to let go of perfectionism, if you're not willing to be okay by being judged, and by the way, we're the first one that judges. If you're not okay by having people thinking that you're not good enough, or you thinking you're not good enough, then you're never going to be able to get to the best case scenario. But you have the potential to be there. How do I know it? It's because all of us have the potential if we follow our heart rather than follow our head. Because our head will always try to keep us safe. Our head will always be in risk management and try to say, oh my God, let's stay where we are. But what if the best case scenario we'll have the ups and downs, we'll all have the fears as well, but we just overcome it by just keep focusing on the best case scenario. What is your best case scenario? What do you really want? What do you really want in your business? What do you really want to achieve? If you didn't have any fears, what would you do today? Not in a year time, not in 2 years time, today. If you did not have any fears, what would you do? And some people say, I don't have fears. Okay, well then what are you stressed about? Because pretty much being stressed means that you're afraid of something. Being stressed means that you're afraid of losing money. Be stressed means you're afraid of not having enough. Be stressed means you're afraid of making a decision. Right? There is the same thing, but some people, overachievers, don't really like to call it fear. They like to call it stressed. That's what Tony Robbins says. So really dig deep into your brain and think about, wow, how much more would I get done if I didn't listen to my fears? How much more would I achieve if I didn't put myself out there with tiptoeing with fear? How much would you achieve if you just were confident? How much would you achieve if you were fearless? And I mean, you're not going to be able to be fearless all the time because we're human. But what if you just leverage on fear rather than run from it? What if you dance with fear? That is our work. That's where we can always go to the next level. So with this, I'm going to leave you, my friends, to work on your fears and take a second and sit down and really answer those last few questions. Play them back and really sit down and answer them, because this is where the magic happens. Just listening to me and not doing is not going to do it for you. It's not going to cut it. You need to take action. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I'll see you next week. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, then you have to come check out the Entrepreneur's Abundance Mindset Mastermind. It's my monthly mastermind where you get to spend time with me, where we take all this material, we apply it, we study it, and so we can take your business to a whole new level. So just go to the Francesca Moi, the Meetup Queen Facebook business page, and then just send me a message and you'll be able to choose the option EAM Mastermind. I would love to have you join me there, and I'll see you next week.